Senator Fisher. Senator Rosen, please.
Thank you, Chairman Reed, and for holding this hearing. I also want to thank General Saltzman for testifying today, for your service and for your vast knowledge in this area. And I want to talk a little bit about our tech and cyber challenges in space, because our nation, of course, we know, facing increasingly sophisticated cybersecurity threats in space from disruptive technologies, including the threat of stealing data, jamming satellite signals, hijacking satellites, and disrupting internet services. So I have kind of a multi-part question. And so if confirmed, how are you going to work to keep our space-based assets like satellites safe from cyber attacks? Who are you going to what other agencies, interdepartmental or otherwise, do you need to coordinate to protect that all-of-government approach on cyber that we've been trying to work on? And how are you using emerging technologies in all of this?
Thank you, Senator. That is an important topic. And watching what happened in Ukraine to cyber attacks that had space effects dismantled to some degree showed that there is a large concern for just what you're pointing out, that our cyber networks are an avenue to disrupt and degrade our space capabilities. So this is a critical issue for me as well. We've organized one of our units, a Delta 6, is actually dedicated to cyber operations and specifically cyber mission defense of Space Force systems. We also leverage the authorities that U.S. Cyber Command has to monitor and, if necessary, actively defend in protection of those capabilities. So those you mentioned, which ones are the stakeholders? Who are we collaborating with? U.S. Cyber Command is at the top of that list, certainly. But what we're doing is training our cyber operators on our mission-unique, what we call cyber terrain. They are living day-to-day inside our weapons and the networks that feed them and make them work, and they're monitoring for malicious actions, malicious behavior, and they're continually updating the defenses to make sure they're as secure as possible. I'm comfortable that they're actively doing it. Now, what I want to give them are some of the tools to do the job better, and some of the training and education that they're going to need as this very dynamic field moves down the road. And so I want to keep them at the forefront of that technology to have the tools, the monitoring systems, and the ability to defend our critical cyber networks.
Well, you must have read my mind, because that's my next question, because as a former computer programmer, I'm very excited to hear you talk about supercoders. That's very exciting to me, but it is so important that we think about our STEM outreach generally, and that, like you said, Space Force provides an opportunity to ensure our guardians, including the Space Force unit stationed in my state at Nellis Air Force Base, they're fully equipped to address evolving threats in space. And I really hope this new branch of the military can also play a role in promoting what I think are exciting STEM career fields and helping bridge the technological gaps facing the military and industry, because it's a collaboration. And it's why I'm glad in 2020 the Promotes Act, bipartisan legislation I introduced, it authorized DoD to provide STEM education and training to junior ROTC students, and it was signed into law as part of the NDAA. So we hope that gives you a good pipeline. But considering how important it is, and you spoke a little bit about this, how are you going to do things like the STEM to Space initiative and other STEM outreach programs to try to be sure that you're really reaching out there and letting young folks or anyone really know what an exciting career field this is?
Yes, ma'am, and thank you for the support. Agree that attracting the right kind of professionals with the right kind of acumen on this STEM field of play, if you will, is critical to our success. And so certainly we do outreach. We start in grade schools. We send people out into grade schools and high schools to talk about the importance of space. General Raymond's always famous for dragging our astronauts that are Space Force guardians along with him to talk about how exciting the space domain is. And I think there's a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz that creates. We've established a university partner program whereby we have 14 universities, maybe 15 now, it's expanding, where we go out and try to leverage that diverse, highly technical skill set that people are seeking in those universities and try to attract them into the force. We're establishing partnerships for research to stay at the leading edge of cyber through that same partnership program with the universities, and I think we're seeing the benefits of that on a day-to-day basis. I agree it's a critical mission. If confirmed as CSO, I'll continue to support that.
Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you, Senator Rosen.